What's up? 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 What is up? How are y'all doing today? It is Friday, and y'all know what that means. That means we're gonna have us good old time tonight. I'm your host, Emmanuel Noisette, and I want to thank each and every one of you for coming out tonight. We have got a couple of things to talk about tonight. We have got an update for Jonathan Majors. We also have the big studios they got some plans to address toxic fandom, which we've talked about many times on this channel. And of course, I will give you guys my review and thoughts on Joker 2 Folie à Deux. I will let you guys know exactly how I feel about that movie. But we got some other topics that we'll go through as well. Let's see. Let's give a couple quick shout outs for those of you that made it out nice and early. Who do I see here? Oh, come on through. First comment. Who do we have here? None other than Ms. Harper. Thank you so much for joining for as long as you can. I appreciate you always. I know the job's gonna keep you busy, so shout out to you for holding it down. Diamond, how you doing? Thank you for coming through. Paulette, appreciate you coming through. Smokey, what is up? Good to see you. Milan, hello. Who else? King Chad, what is up? Hey, congrats on starting college. That is fantastic. Best of luck to you. Last of my kin, what is up? Good to see you. My man Corey is back. Shar, appreciate you coming through. Come on down. Kristen Pratt holding it down for the Mod Squad. Appreciate you always. Talented one, what is up? Mama J is in the building. How you doing? Rhonda, what's going on, homie? We got Kimmy J is here as well. My man Ism is here. Treese, thank you so much for being here as well. Didier, what is up? Got some more of the Mod Squad with Storm Shadow. Appreciate you coming through. Let's see who else. Rachel, appreciate you coming through. Thank you so much. Tasha, how you doing? Katie Joe, hello. Jay, how you doing? My man Lou is back. Come on through. Nelson, good to see you. MC, good to see you as well. 60 plus, thank you for coming through. My man Minister Crush is here. Always a pleasure. Who else did I see? Wait. I saw somebody else. There he is. My man Ray is back. Good to see you. What's going on, Chris? Thank you for coming out. Appreciate you. Baker's Life is back as well with Kristen too. Shauna, thank you so much for coming through. Coco, I see you. And who else did I see? I saw somebody else. My man Theo is back. And shout out to everyone that has made it out tonight. Really appreciate y'all. So we are going to do our best to make this one of the shorter lives. I'll just be very honest. I'm tired. I've had a couple of things that I've been a couple of projects that I've been working on. I got some interviews coming up. I had some movies that I had to watch, some TV shows. I had some theories I had to write out. So I'm tired. So, but there was no way I wasn't gonna come in and at least talk to y'all about this stuff, especially Joker. We have got to talk about Joker, but we're gonna save that for the end. So let's get through some of these topics here and get you guys caught up on some of the major things going on. Man, listen, this has been a tough, I don't even want to say a year. It feels like a tough month, a couple of weeks. But y'all, we done lost another one. And now, adding to the list, we just lost James Earl Jones, and now John Amos. We also have lost here. Hold on, there he is. Like just damn. Ah, oh, this one hurt. Um, but yeah, we did lose him. Unfortunately, it says here that yeah, the Good Times, Roots, and Mary Tyler Moore Show actor has passed away. He died in LA of natural causes. He was 84 years old. So a good age, good age. But his death was on August 21st, which that was a while ago. Now, this was announced by his son, Kelly Christopher Amos. Amos, and it had not been disclosed until earlier this week. Um, it does say here that Amos in particular was unhappy with the shifting depiction of the family unit. This was back in Good Times. A dissatisfaction he expressed often and loudly. And this is something that, in case you did not know about John Amos, this guy was very, very adamant about making sure he depicted a strong black male figure. In almost everything that he was in, he had to make sure that he wasn't just some, like jive turkey looking, talking, whatever, ghetto type of whatever, like, especially in Good Times. And I remember this was a big controversy when it came to Good Times, because his character was supposed to be like, this strong, hardworking black man working to get his family out the ghetto. But the show wanted him to keep on being, just the opposite of that, and it does go on here and says that Norman Lear fired Amos at the end of the show's third season in 1976, going so far as to kill him off kill off the character in one of the most controversial and hard-hitting sitcom episodes of the decade. So, by the way, spoiler alert. But listen, I used to watch Good Times. I didn't watch it regularly. We didn't have streaming back then for y'all young folks. But I did watch it whenever it came on. And I remember, I think, seeing that he had passed away in the show. I thought that was the most just bewildering thing. I was like, what? How? Why? Like, that episode really did send me back, because it just never, I wasn't ready for it. I wasn't ready for it. And I mean, I was a kid at the time. But it definitely was a major shift in the show. But as I got older and I started realizing why he got killed off and why John Amos was so adamant, I was like, yeah, I'm with John on this one. Thank goodness, man. If social media had been around back then, I really believe that would have been a whole different situation. But as the article here says, the role further, in Good Times, it further demonstrated Amos's commitment to projects that presented strong black male characters. Again, that was just something that, he was known for and very, very respected for doing. I didn't even know that he was in the Mary Tyler Moore show. Like, I mean, I watched it as a kid, but I didn't realize that he was on there like that. But man, rest in peace to him. I hate the fact that there was like um more behind this, because you also heard like the very awkward story probably about his daughter. It says that his daughter says that somebody was pretending to be his daughter in the hospital the night he passed away. They believe that it was Belinda Foster, the woman who was posing as his publicist, and the family found out about how he died when we all did in the news. So I don't really like the fact that there's like any type of, weird stuff going on. Hopefully the family is okay. Definitely sending them, well wishes and prayers and all that. Um, but in case you were wondering, he does have one final performance coming up, and that's going to be in the new series Suits. So that is the first look at him in his final acting role, where he's actually playing himself in the pilot episode. So, man, that's just, again, I hate the fact that that little bit of drama had to be included, but this man's career, I mean, my goodness, Coming to America, just a phenomenal presence in the film industry. So rest in peace to John Amos. Definitely somebody that is going to be missed and well appreciated. But not only that, but we also lost who else was it? We lost Dikembe Mutombo. unfortunately, the NBA star. That kind of messed me up. I didn't like that. He had died of brain cancer. I think he was also, I want to say he was also in his 80s too, maybe. I think. No, I think he was younger than that. Don't quote me on that. But man, then we also lost Whistler. We lost Whistler, Chris Christopherson. I'll be very honest, I did not know he was also like a musician. Um, I guess that was like his main thing. I had no idea. I only knew him as Whistler in the Blade movies. That was the only exposure I ever had to him. But he unfortunately also passed away at 88. At 88. But man, these folks are going. Oh, Matumbo was 58. Oh, I knew it wasn't that old. But yeah, that was definitely messed up with the cancer that he had. But man, 2024, man, I feel like they just it's just catching up. Like, yo, like space these out at least. Give us some time. Oh my goodness. But anyway, what did you think about any of these folks that had passed on? Any memorable memories, things that you could think of? Feel free to share them in the comments. All right, what else? Let's see. We got through that. Um Bup, 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 bup. Okay, let's go through a couple quick updates. Like I said, we're not gonna be here that long. It's been kind of a dry week as well, but we got a couple quick updates to kind of go through with a couple of TV and movie things. That 90s show has now been canceled after 2 seasons. Were y'all watching this? Was anybody watching this? I don't know. I didn't even know it was on. I didn't even know it was on Netflix, to be honest with you. No. Sorry for anyone that was looking forward to this or excited about it, but it's gone. So oh well. What else? Hellboy, the Crooked Man will not be getting a theatrical release in the US, and instead it's going to go straight to digital. Yikes. Um the Hellboy franchise has been going down. Um it's been going down ever since Guillermo del Toro left, Ron Perlman left. Um Almost every movie has just gotten worse and worse and worse. I saw the trailer for this. It looked like trash. This looked like trash. And it looks like the fact that they're not even going to put this in theaters confirms that. I'll still watch it. Why? Because I am just a sucker for this. I don't even know this actor's name. I don't even know who it is. Like, I gun to my head, I'm gone because I don't know who this guy is. I don't even know what channel this gonna come on. What network this going? I don't know. But yeah. So this was already looking suspect, and I think that's the final nail in the coffin. The fact that they're just gonna make this go straight to streaming. If you plan on watching it, please let me know. Oh, y'all, we got a Rugrats movie coming out. It says here the babies are going to be CGI in the new Rugrats movie, but everything else is going to be live action. So I guess this is going to kind of be like Sonic, Sonic the Hedgehog or whatnot. Um, I don't know how I feel about this. Now, I grew up watching Rugrats. Okay, so I grew up, that was the TV show back in the day on Nickelodeon. I watched it. Shoot, I don't know about y'all, but I watched that the Rugrats movie when it came out. What, oh my god, what was that? 90? I think that was 98, I want to say. Y'all remember the song? I remember the song. I used to like it was Blackstreet and Maya. What, take me there. I want to go there. Take me there. Let's go there. Take me to that great place with wonders and wishes. That was the cut. That was the cut. Okay. That was a cut, boy. They was hitting it with that. But yeah, I used to love Rugrats. I used to love Rugrats. But at this point, I don't know if this is for me anymore. I don't know if this is something I'll be watching. But we'll see. I'm a little iffy about the whole making the babies CGI. I mean, yes, the babies have to talk, but I'm saying, didn't y'all do this with Look Who's Talking? Like it was, didn't it work back then? I don't know. I don't know. This it's gonna be a little weird. I need a trailer. I at least need a trailer, and I hope the babies don't look too weird, because I don't know. I don't know how they gonna make this work. But y'all let me know. Are you interested in the Rugrats live action movie? Just think of it like it's gonna be live action, but the babies are gonna be CGI, kind of like how Sonic the Hedgehog is. Y'all let me know what you think in the comments down below. And yes, Mace, yes, thank you for that. Mace was on there as well. So yes, that is also he definitely was on that track too. Yes, thank you for that. We got a quick boys update. So this is about the prequel spin-off series that they're doing. Aya Cash, who plays Stormfront, she says that the script was very, very good, or insane, absolutely insanely good. This is for the series called Vought, and this series is going to focus on the prequel for Soldier Boy and for Stormfront. And it's going to follow a murder mystery in the 1950s. So, at this point, I'm sold. They had me with Gen V. I didn't know if Gen V was going to be good outside of the boys, but it actually was. So at this point, I'm cool with seeing what they're going to do. And I am kind of curious at what what is the origin of Vought, and what are they going to do with Soldier Boy and Stormfront. So I'm interested in seeing at least where they go with this. But you guys let me know. Are you interested? Is this something that you're going to want to see? Do you need a trailer, maybe? Whatever you think of any of these quick updates, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. All right, what do we have? Eric, yes, we just covered that about John Amos's daughter, but thank you so much for that. Appreciate you. Natalie, leaving the gym, catching the replay. Thank you, Natalie. I appreciate you. Hey, I left the gym too. All right, I left the gym too earlier today. It was leg day today, and I'm glad I'm sitting down. I'll just say that. But thank you so much. See you later on the replay. Let's see, Eric, what you got? The older teen Rugrats show in the 2000s was trash. Hopefully this movie will be good. Yeah, I didn't watch that. I didn't watch it. I ain't know nothing about it. So that was beyond my time. I was already grown at that point. So I'll just take your word for it. But yeah, that was not for me. Oh, we got an update on Megalopolis. Now, for some of y'all that don't recall, Megalopolis is the new movie from Francis Ford Coppola. Ford Coppola is the guy that is responsible for the Godfather series. So, one of the greatest movies, franchises of all time, of course. But, this is the same guy who's had some issues with the current state of the movie industry. Ford Coppola recently, before this movie came out, had some problems, and he blamed Marvel and Star Wars and all of that for ruining the theaters, just ruining everything. Just and we know at this point what that means. When you got an old white director blaming Marvel and Star Wars and all this other stuff, because this is a trend. Okay, this has been a long going trend. Y'all know what that really is code for. My movie sucks and I need some sort of scapegoat. But I haven't seen the movie, so I can't say whether it sucks or not. But we do have numbers. Because Francis Ford Coppola's Megalopolis opens with $4 million domestically on a budget of $120 million. Yikes! Yikes! It's one of the worst opening weekends for a big budget film. Ah! Oh! I heard he had to pull $100 million something dollars out his own business to fund this. Yikes. Oh, what do the tomatoes say? Because I haven't. Ah! Ah! Oh no. The critics, 46%. But come on, man. The fans are at 35%. Everybody hate your movie. Everybody. Yikes. Okay, but listen, this ain't this, you know what? Listen, this ain't the worst because Rotten Tomatoes can be harsh, right? It can be harsh. I feel like the next best thing you got to look at is probably Cinema Score. And in case y'all did not know, Cinema Score is basically it's a movie review of or movie reaction survey based off of the audiences that come straight out the theater. So this is as real as it gets when it comes to audience, not critics, not press, not these movie snobs or whatever. It's you, me, regular old people going to the movies, and somebody is standing outside saying, do you like this movie or not? Now, just to give y'all a little bit of understanding, Cinema Score, it is kind of like a grading scale, A plus, B plus, etc. They do kind of, in my opinion, they grade on a curve. So let's say a trash movie like Venom 2 or Morbius, a movie like that might get a B minus. Okay. So imagine if that's the floor. Okay. That's what we talking about for trashy type of movies. Madam Web, might get a B minus or a C plus. Okay. Because let's be honest, audiences are pretty giving. They're pretty nice. So let's just see. What did Megalopolis get on the Cinema Score? Oh my god! Oh my god! A D plus? Oh. I don't think I've ever seen any movie on Cinema Score from audiences get worse than a C plus. A D plus on Cinema Score is like getting a negative F minus. This is like your Rotten Tomatoes going in negative numbers. You don't even have a Rotten Tomato. You got manure. Like you just have spoiled poop in your head. That's what this is. Marvel, why did y'all do this to them? Star Trek, why did y'all do this to them? Wait, what was the last Star Trek movie? Oh, that was 2018. So I don't know how Star Trek. Deadpool. Why did y'all do this to them, Deadpool? I mean, listen, Deadpool, I know y'all were out the theaters already. I know that y'all wasn't even competing, but why did y'all do this to Ford Coppola? This ain't nice. I believe Kevin Feige needs to write a full page letter straight to Francis Ford Coppola and apologize for doing this to this man's movie. Why? Oh, that's just so sad. That's just so sad. And can we talk about something else real quick? What's going on with my boy Adam Driver? Adam is a really good actor. I like this man as an actor. But his last couple movies have been just trash. Bro, I need you to find a new agent. I need you to go find somebody else that can help you. You know what? Let's look it up real quick. Let me, because sometimes people don't believe me on these things. Let me see. What did he have? What did he do? Because some of his movies recently, let's just go off of after Star Wars. After Star Wars. Let's see. Okay. So after Star Wars, because to me, I'm like, yo, Star Wars should be a big hit for you. Once you do Star Wars, you on the map. you doing some things. Okay, Rise of Skywalker was trash. I don't think he was the reason, but yeah, it was trash. Annette, I didn't watch that. The Last Duel, I don't know. House of Gucci, yikes. White Noise, definitely not good. Squarespace, I'd never heard of that. 65, I actually went to a matinee to go watch this. I dozed off a little bit. I dozed off a little bit. Ferrari, yikes. Megalopolis, bro. Now, I've told y'all before, when you come on the IMDb, when you have like a 7 or a higher, usually it's something decent to good. But when you get under 7, it's not good. And when you get under 6, it's trash. Bro, you got 1, 2, 3 5s in less than 3 years. Like I said, I like him as an actor. I liked him in Black Klansman. He was very solid in that. I liked him in Star Wars. It's Kylo Ren, solid. Marriage Story, solid, great performance. But my God, this dude got to change it up. He got to change it up. But anyway, guys, what do y'all think about Megalopolis? How many of y'all went to go see Megalopolis, or how many of y'all plan to go see Megalopolis? I'm just curious because I know y'all bought some advanced tickets, right? Like somebody was excited for this, right? Or was I mistaken? I don't know. Whatever you think, let me know in the comments down below. All right. Oh, what is this? Didier, what you got? It's funny how The Boys has become just like the franchises they satirize. I'm okay with this. I'm very, very okay with it because the same way that they're like, making fun of all those things, they're it's continuing the vehicle for them to voice it. So I'm fine with it. The platform is there for them to continue to troll, and I'm here for it. But yes, the irony is absolutely there, and I'm here for it. Let's see. Oh, okay. So I don't know if you guys recall. Let's move on. I don't know if you guys recall, but the Russo brothers have, of course, we know that they're doing the next Avengers movies, which I think we're all very excited for that. They're doing Avengers Doomsday, they're doing Avengers Secret Wars, and that's great, right? Now, before they made their comeback, and after they did Infinity War and Endgame, they have their own production company, and they've been doing their own little thing. Now, some stuff that they produce has been pretty solid, like a couple TV shows, Citadel. I think they're producers on From. I think, don't quote me on that. But they've also directed and made a couple movies that not a lot of people cared about. Whatever that Chris Evans movie that was on Netflix with what's the name? Ryan Gosling, like the Gray Man. They stay making movies with Tom Holland, Cherry. So it's been, I don't even want to say hit or miss, but it's been they haven't gone back to the top of the mountain. They haven't reached the mountaintop yet. And in case y'all forgot, before we got the news that they were going to be in the running to do the Avengers movies, you had one of the rumors that was out there about their latest movie that they're working on now. I think it's done now, and it was called The Electric State. Now, the reason why this rumor came up was because one of the scoopers was saying that the budgets on these movies were so high that it kind of turned Marvel away from working with them initially. So we actually finally got our first images of this movie, The Electric State, and I wanted to just kind of I need y'all take on this because I don't know what's happening. It says here this is the first look at the Russo brothers, the Electric State. Now this stars Millie Bobby Brown, Chris Pratt, y'all boy, Anthony Mackie, Brian Cox, Woody Harrelson, and Giancarlo Esposito and Ki Hui Kwan as well. Okay. So I'm mad Chris Pratt looks like Chris Hemsworth here at first. At least I thought he did. Is that Mr. Peanut? Okay. I this looks weird. This looks very weird. All of this looks weird. And yeah. So those are the first images. But it says here the Russo brothers' Electric State follows an alternative history where Walt Disney's Disneyland animatronics led to an intelligent robots to revolt against their creators. Mr. Peanut, who's voiced by Woody Harrelson, is the leader of the robot insurgents. So this is the Disney bots. Like, is this like Five Nights at Freddy's or something? And I don't know. Okay, I don't know what to make of this. And if it is true that this thing costs $300 million, yikes. And I'm guessing it probably went into the actors' budgets for the most part, but oh my gosh. You know what? I will say these actors, they stay working though. You know, I'm happy for Giancarlo. My man needs to keep working. I love it. Mackie, some way, somehow, he gonna find a way to cut the check, no matter what. Chris Pratt, I'd have no idea why this guy continues to get roles. I'm not saying he's terrible. I'm not saying he's bad. I'm just saying this dude always finds a way. It's almost like he's got his bingo card lined up for the next 10 years and he's going to be in something. Good for him. Millie Bobby Brown also is here too, and you know I'm very happy for Ki Hu Kwan. Good for him as well. But man, I don't know. I don't even know if a trailer is going to be enough for me with this. Like none of this looks appealing. I don't know if this is a comedy. I don't know. Like what? I don't know if I should take this seriously. Even if it was a comedy, I don't know if I should take this seriously. I don't know. Y'all let me know. How do you feel about the Electric State? Whatever this is, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Because wow. All right. Got that. And that. I think I had a comment. Tony, what's going on? Thoughts on Curse 2005? I don't know what that is. What is that? Oh. Yeah, I didn't watch this movie. Who's in this? Christina Ricci, Jesse Eisenberg. Yeah, I did not see this. A werewolf loosed in Los Angeles changes the lives of 3 young adults. Yeah, nah, I didn't watch this. And it's got a 5 on IMDb. Now, Tony, this sounds like it's gonna be some trash. I don't know. What are your thoughts on Curse 2005? But no, I have none. I have not watched that. Let's see, JN. As much as I complain about Tyler Perry's films, this ain't it, Russo's. I mean, It's only a couple still images, but this is not enticing. I yeah, yeah, it's not. It's just not. It's not. I don't know what this is. I don't know what this is. Um, let's see. Oh yeah, we already talked about that. All right. Oh yeah, let's get to Jonathan Majors. So Jonathan Majors, as many of you probably know if you've been following this channel, has been plagued with a lot of PR nightmares. Let's say that. We know that ever since what was it, March, April, or whatever it was of this year, um, my man had been dropped by his PR companies, by his movie studios. He lost all this stuff, all because of the allegations against him for domestic violence and so on with his at that time girlfriend Grace Jabari. So of course there was a whole trial that came out. There were a ton of articles that came out. A lot of people coming for him, saying certain things. And then of course he was found guilty on some misdemeanors, right? Now I've already said multiple times, I didn't really agree based off of the evidence that he should have been found guilty at all. Because we all saw the video. And to me, it was two people kind of like going at it. I can't and we didn't actually see the injuries be done either. So I don't know. Maybe she scratched herself. Maybe she bumped her head. I don't know. Like that's all I'm saying. I don't know. But needless to say, whatever your opinion is on the whole case, um, he has been doing his best to, you know, stay out of trouble, not have any negative headlines. He's been booed up with making good, which is a good move. And so far he's won I think what was it? I forget what the award show was. He's won the Perseverance Award. But I think what this says, and I've said two things about him. One, I've said that he has to lay low for a while just because people have short memories and they'll get over it. And two, hopefully no other negative headlines come up. Because regardless of how people might feel, or regardless of how you agree with the verdict or not, studios are going to be afraid of negative headlines. Again, it does not matter what you think about the verdicts, okay? Because I know some legal people going to be like, but E-Man, you got to, it does not matter. I'm not the one making the decisions. The studios are in Hollywood. They are the ones in charge of his career, not social media, not the people in the courts, the studios. And the studios are scary of negative headlines. Point blank, period. Because of that, that often will hinder or progress his career. Now, I told you guys the fact that he does have another movie coming up, and that's great for him. But before all of that, he had another movie that was supposed to come out, and that was Magazine Dreams. Hold on, because I know the Thirsty's gonna be like, E-Man, why don't you put this up? E-Man, you gotta put something up. Okay, Thirsties, there, leave me alone. Now, Magazine Dreams came out, I want to say it was during Sundance, and while it was out, it was getting some attention. It was getting some legit attention, not because the movie was all that good. I mean, I haven't seen it yet, but from what I heard, the movie was all right, but Jonathan Majors' performance was fantastic. That was the main thing people were talking about, and it was already kind of getting award chatter. Like it was like, hey, this brother might win something, based off of this movie. Now, the problem was the fact that because of all of his previous legal situations and because of the negative headlines, that did not go very well when it came to the nature of what was happening in the movie itself. it's very difficult to market a movie about a guy who is very violent and all that, and he's dealing with real life headlines about being violent as well. So it was Disney Searchlight. They're the ones that bought Magazine Dreams, and after his verdict and all that, they dropped it. They were holding on to it, but they dropped it. So but we have some news because they also said that, hey, even though they dropped it, it's open for someone else to pick it up. Somebody else can swoop in if they want it. And we do have an update on what's going on with it. It says here Magazine Dreams, a tense sports drama starring Jonathan Majors, has been acquired by Briarcliff Entertainment and will be released theatrically in 2025. Um, it says here, let's see. It is about an aspiring bodybuilder named Killian Maddox, who abuses steroids in a quest to become a sports icon. Now the film, it did have a bidding war. Now think about this: Neon wanted it, Sony Pictures Classics wanted it, HBO wanted it, until Disney swooped in and bought it under Searchlight. Listen, if HBO would have bought this, I think that would have been a huge platform for this movie to like really take off and to like get a lot of eyeballs. So the fact that they had that kind of bidding war lets me know that the studios at that time, they saw something, they saw the potential. They saw something here that would, because here's the thing, studios ain't gonna buy a movie if they don't think it's either gonna bring them money or it's gonna bring them award acclimates or attention or something. So they saw some potential there. And again, this was before his whole trial and all of that. So I do think that that is a positive sign that the movie does have something good going for it. Now this was the CEO of the studio that purchased Magazine Dreams. He goes on to say Jonathan Majors' transcendent performance as Killian Maddox will undoubtedly be remembered as one of the most compelling and transformative roles in recent cinema history. Whoa, that's some big talk. Now I know you just bought this, but sir, that's some big talk. So I think he is just reaffirming what a lot of the critics and what a lot of the people that originally saw the film were saying, is that Jonathan Majors, he gonna kill it in this role. And I'll be honest, I do want to see what happens. I want to see this for myself. I'm a little disappointed. I'm a little disappointed that this is going to come out in early 2025. I kind of wish that it would come out sooner. I kind of wish that it would have come out like within the next month or two. If it were me, I would have released it ASAP, mainly because for awards. Now, they might be going more so for the money, because I've never heard of this studio, so maybe they need the money for it, but and you need time to advertise it as well. And I think that's going to be interesting. But I would have wanted it released earlier because I think this year's Oscar, the awards competition is kind of light. Like the only real contenders right now that I've seen, so I haven't seen everything yet, but right now I think Dune is like in the lead. I think that Denis Villeneuve is going to get Best Director. Dune probably has a very good shot of Best Picture. I mean, hell, the mere fact that Deadpool and Wolverine are in Oscar talks, that to me, that lets you know that this pool is kind of thin. Now, 2025, there's going to be a lot of other films that are going to compete, that are going to come out. So that's what I'm saying. It might be a little too late. Now, maybe they make that cutoff, in early 2025, but I just know for a lot of press, a lot of voting folks, the earlier you can get your movie out there and in people's minds, the better. Because them movies that come out late, the movies that studios don't they not flying you out to see the movie, they're not sending you the DVD, they're not giving you the screeners. Listen, oh, I'm just saying as a critic, award season is hectic because if you didn't go to the festivals, you trying to play catch up like me and watch everything that you can, and you're not always going to have the time. So the later these things come out, the harder to be able to compete because this guy is a very talented actor, and I definitely want him to shine, especially when it comes to his work. And yeah, I mean, like, this is um it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how they also market this. Personally, I'm fine with them, putting majors back out on the circuit, let them do interviews, let them promote the stuff. I don't know how everyone else is going to react to this. I don't know how if people are still looking at him the way that they were looking at Will Smith. And let's just be honest, it's only a certain type of people that look at them that way and hold these grudges against people. I'm cool with it. I've moved on. I haven't seen any other type of reasons to jump on and pile on this dude. So to me, I'm like, let the man cook. Let him cook. Let him do his thing. And I'm looking forward to seeing this. I do want to see this because I am a fan of his work. But you guys let me know. How do you feel about Magazine Dreams getting new life and having a chance to be out there? How do you feel about Jonathan Majors making this comeback? Are you looking forward to this? Is this something that you will be checking out for? Whatever you think, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. All right. Oh, JM, what you got? This is the same company that is distributing the Sebastian Stan Donald Trump movie, The Apprentice. Think voters will treat this like Nate Parker's Nat Turner film. Possible. It is possible. I didn't know that was the same company. Thank you for that. It's possible. Again, certain people will have certain opinions, and they hold certain grudges that just so happen to be against certain actors. So we'll see what happens. I mean, like I said, I'm fine. Like, I will watch this, I can judge it. I don't need to be distracted by headlines or whatever. I'm gonna grade the guy's work based off of what it is. But yeah, I also would not be surprised if some folks are just like, no, whatever. So all I could do is wish hope for the best for him and his film. But thank you so much for that, JN. I appreciate you. All right, what do we have? Oh, so we got some new DCU news because there's a new DC movie coming out. As you guys know, DC has finally revamped. James Gunn has come out with Peter Safran as the new heads of DC Studios, and they are starting from scratch. Well, mostly from scratch. And they are trying to revitalize the DC brand after the DCEU, and I think it's safe to say this was a failure. Now, there are many causes for that failure, and I'm not even going to point the finger. I'm just saying, overall, it was not successful. The whole thing. I don't care if one movie hit $1 billion or not. Overall, the DCEU was a failure. So now the onus is on James Gunn to try to revitalize the brand and try to make people care again. Now, we have a couple of things. He already announced his whole slate of what he wanted to do with the Gods and Monsters chapter. And we also know that Creature Commandos is going to be the first entry into the DCU. That is going to be I don't know, it's like their weird version of Suicide Squad, but with monsters or something. I don't know. But it's going to be an animated thing. That's what they're going to go with first. But the first live action film is going to be Superman. And that's the one that James Gunn has written and will be directing. So that is what we can look forward to. But prior to all that, and no, Penguin does not count. The Batman for Matt Reeves does not count. Those are outside the DCU. So, those are separate projects. But officially, in terms of DC Studios being involved, we have another film that's coming up. And by the way, I think we also talked about it. There's going to be a Bane and Deathstroke movie as well. Now, I don't know where that falls, if that's DCU or if it's outside, but I don't know. That's something that's happening. But that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is Batman. But not really. It's Batman adjacent because it's Robin. Yes, the Robins are about to get their own movie in the DCU. And this is definitely something new. It's going to be called the Dynamic Duo. It says here the studio is mounting its first animated feature project. So this is the first animated movie called Dynamic Duo. The film will serve as an origin story for Robin and Robin, aka Dick Grayson and Jason Todd. Let's see. It will be produced by Matt Reeves and his production company, but the story will be separate from Reeves' ongoing Gotham verse with Batman and the Penguin. Instead, it will depict how the friendship between Grayson and Todd as youths become tested by their diverging ideas for what their future should be. Now, keep in mind, for those of you that don't know, both of these they both become Batman sidekicks, of course. Dick Grayson being the original Robin, and then after him it was Jason Todd, but they both end up going in somewhat different paths, where Dick ends up becoming Nightwing, where he just becomes a superhero outside of Batman's shadow, and Jason Todd, let's just say he goes down a slightly darker path, and he's all about the Second Amendment. Let's say that he's a very, very adamant proponent of the Second Amendment. But yeah, so they are going to show that. It says here the animation will be handled by New Orleans-based Swaybox. So that's the studio doing it. It says Swaybox has pioneered an innovative approach to puppetry that is a hybrid of live action motion capture, stop motion animation, and CG animation. That sounds like a lot. And it does say here that James Gunn and Peter Safran are also producing. So wait, what? So puppetry that is a hybrid of live action motion capture. Okay, hold on, because I think we have a sample of what this could look like. Let me add it here. Okay, so yeah, this is the one. This is from the company that's going to do the animation. So I think this is like the sample or the demo reel or whatever. But this is what I think we can look forward to this Robin movie will look like.
So look, when Haggerty shows up, I'll grab him quick and tell him how he can fit into the campaign.
Hey, I don't know that we need to do that.
You think so?
I do.
Okay, you're the man.
Everyone, Mr. Haggerty. Mr. Haggerty, I'd like you to meet our campaign staff.
Everyone, please just call me Bill.
Of course, this is my brother. And this.
No, I'm not finishing that. No, we're not gonna finish this. What the hell? Please don't do this. James Gunn, I know you're not listening, but if you are, don't do that. Whatever the hell that was, don't do that. Do not do that. Listen, no. Y'all. I respect when studios try something new. But once again, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. The one thing DC has always had going for them was their animation. Not saying every single one was a hit, but they usually hit more often than not. James, hold on. Let me, because I need to. James Gunn, Peter Safran, Matt Reeves. Please don't put that claymation puppetry stuff. Don't do this. If y'all listen to I'm a fan. I love DC animation. I love the DC brand. Don't put that crap up there. Ain't nobody gonna watch that, bro. I don't care how dark y'all make it. I don't care how gloomy. I don't even care if y'all put Batman in there. I'm not watching that. Fire them right now. Fire them right now. Listen, say that there was a scheduling conflict. Say that y'all had creative differences. I don't care. I don't care. Go back to DC Animation. Grab the same guys that have been doing the work before, and y'all can tell me that story that way. But if you come up with some weird looking CGI puppets, no thank you. No thank you. That stuff look like it gives kids nightmares. Just looking at that. Ugh. Anyway, y'all let me know. How do you feel about this new Robin story, movie, animated thing? And is whatever the hell that animated puppetry CGI stuff is that? I don't know. Hey, maybe one of y'all like that. You know, I ain't trying to knock nobody's flavors now. If you like it, okay, cool. But that ain't for me. I no thank you. But y'all let me know what you think in the comments down below. How we doing on time? We doing all right. Yeah, we doing all right. We only got a couple left. What do we have? We got 3 topics left. We will get to those. Let's talk about the MCU. And they have a new plan. Now, we have talked about this. We've talked about how Marvel has revamped, right? We talked about this, I want to say earlier this year, maybe last year. And a lot of the changes that are happening with Marvel, most of it is happening with their TV. So the TV stuff, we saw a big change when it came to Daredevil, Born Again. That had started off, and they was like, yo, stop. Kevin Feige looked at that and was like, wait a minute, Daredevil don't even put a costume on for like the first 4 or 5 episodes. Man, y'all fired. Let's go get them Netflix guys, bring them back. Let them do, from the Punisher, let them do this. And we're going to keep that same Netflix energy with this Daredevil. So that was just one of the things. Some other changes were things like, they were now going to stop making the TV shows just basic setups for a movie. Because remember, that's pretty much all they were doing. WandaVision was nothing more than a layup assist for Doctor Strange 2. Multiverse of Madness. So even though WandaVision was solid. So now they're like, nah, we're going to start making stuff that is self-contained Yeah, it's going to be in the Marvel universe. It'll be connected, but it's going to focus on whatever you're, watching, those characters, etc., right? And I've told y'all that it is going to be a transition. It's going to be a process. This is not something that overnight Marvel's just going to win everybody over, even though they had a nice long slump during phase 4. And I've told y'all as well, I'm not looking forward to a lot of Marvel stuff until after 2025, 2026. Deadpool was the only exception. Deadpool was the only thing that I was sitting here like, oh, we finna cook with this. So we have that. And with that, we also had another issue with Marvel's TV stuff. One of those things was the budgets. The budgets were ridiculous. Marvel was out here spending hundreds of millions of dollars on their TV shows just to give us stuff like Secret Invasion. There is no reason why a show like Secret Invasion should have cost you $120 million. No reason. That was just insane. For that? No. So now we have shows like Agatha All Along, which are starting to be part of the new trend of what Marvel's trying to do with their TV shows. It says here that while the show is off to a strong start, its success is the latest part of Marvel's plan to change up its TV strategy. So just like WandaVision had a budget of in the 9-figure range, 9 figures for WandaVision, Agatha All Along is officially the least expensive show Marvel has made up to date. Now, keep in mind, while they also were paying a crazy amount of money for these shows, we were also only getting like 6 episodes. At least now with Daredevil, with Agatha, at least we're getting 9+ episodes for a season. So I do like the fact that, they're lowering the costs and they're increasing the amount of episodes as well. Now, this is from Brad Winderbaum, the number 2 at Marvel. He says, I can tell you it's our least expensive show, and I think that was by design. We are looking to make these shows for a responsible cost. Frankly, it gives us a little bit more freedom creatively when we can bring them in at a reasonable budget. The show has minimal CG, way less than we've ever done before. It's mostly practical effects, and I think you could feel it in this show. So I agree with one thing here, that's a good thing, because what ends up happening is when you sit here and have a $1 billion that you can play with, what you're going to probably do is rely on the big show. You're going to rely on the razzle dazzle, the big, the lights, the shiny things. Be like, hey, did y'all like that fact that we got a mocap of Hulk and She-Hulk, and y'all like that, right? Never mind the actual story. Never mind if the characters work. Never mind if the themes are compelling. You just focused on the fact that, hey, we got a Hulk. Hey, we did something shiny explosion. Hey, we did this crazy battle, whatever. Meanwhile, your show is trash. So I like the fact that, and I think that this is true in filmmaking as well. When you have, and I've heard directors say these type of things. I think it was James Gunn that mentioned this, where they were like, they liked working with small budgets, because when you work with a small budget, it forces you to become more creative. It forces you to really innovate and approach these type of TV shows or movies in a way to accomplish your vision without, breaking the bank. But if you do have a lot of money, you might get a little lazy. It might happen. So I like the fact that they're doing this approach with their TV shows, because hopefully it'll make them focus on the characters and the story more instead. Let's see. It says here, when Marvel first started, when they first began making shows tied to the MCU, some of those shows were, my gosh, in the range of 150 million or more. I thought 120 was the most, but I guess it's more than that. It says here, Winterbomb certainly holds true with Daredevil and our future slates as we look down the pike at 2026 and 2027. That's certainly the goal. When he was asked about the Vision series, Winterbomb said it will not necessarily have a high budget as the original crop of MCU shows, which is interesting because Vision, you know, he is mocap, so you do need some visual effects with him. He said here, I think it's about how you use the effects as opposed to the scale of the effects. Yes, I agree. And we're responding to our own recent history here and how effective effects really are in increasing the value of a story. Now, that is actually pretty interesting that he would talk about their history. Now, I don't think he means to say this, but y'all remember Marvel has had a certain history when it comes to special effects and VFX. That was the whole thing with Victoria Alonso, who you know, got fired. They had a whole reputation about overworking the VFX industry. So, you know, Marvel's name got dragged a lot, you know, for like just having a terrible reputation when it comes to the VFX, having some things be unfinished in the movies, like Ant-Man 3, you know, maybe even Thor. So the fact that they're like learning their lesson, let me tell you, this is one of those reasons why I respect Marvel Studios. I know like they listen, you can respect them and still have criticisms. Y'all know I still have criticisms for Marvel Studios, but I will put respect on their name because unlike many other studios, oh, hi, Sony, Marvel will learn from their mistakes and they will try to do something different. I love that. I appreciate that. It took DC, Warner Brothers over 10 years to realize the DCEU was a failing project. Sony still doesn't recognize that they suck at the Spider-Man spinoffs. They still don't get it at all. And they're still doing the same thing, thinking that eventually something's going to pop. Marvel will have a phase. They'll have a couple of years of things that did not work, and they'll be like, yo, you know what? We got to stop. This ain't working. We got to try something else. I respect that. They're not perfect. I'm not saying they're perfect. I'm not saying they bat at 100. But damn it, the fact that they will sit here and change and try new things when things have failed, I respect that. So I like that. I think that's a positive sign, especially when it comes to the Agatha series. So I am interested to see where that goes and what they're going to do with that. But you guys let me know, how do you feel about Marvel's new approach to be more budget conscious? Is this something that you're looking forward to with them? Is this something that you think is a positive for them? Whatever you think, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. You know, let me see. Do I have that? I had a little something to talk to y'all about. Let me see if there's something else. Hold on one second, because I don't know if we want to talk about rumors, but I didn't know if it was too spoilery. Okay, one of these is spoilery, so I'm not going to talk about that. But I think we can talk about these two. Yeah, I don't think these two are. Maybe. I don't know. They're rumors. Hold on. Let's just, you know, put that little caveat up there. All right, so we got just a couple little Marvel rumors. Once again, take these with a huge grain of salt. Maybe these happen to be the case, maybe they don't. But these are coming from Daniel RPK, so they're, let's say, more reliable than not. But we do have one rumor here, and that is going to be about the upcoming new project for Marvel. And it's saying here that we're going to get a Marvel Studios is reportedly working on a Silver Surfer project. This is going to be produced by Matt Shackman, who is the same guy that gave you WandaVision, and he's currently the same guy that's doing the Fantastic Four First Steps movie. So this will be pretty interesting. Now, I'm curious as to what exactly this project will be, and I'm also curious which Silver Surfer are we talking about, because keep in mind, we heard the earlier rumors about a female Silver Surfer, a female Herald of Galactus, and boy, did the incels and the Twitterverse and all them lose their minds. Everybody lost their collective mind over the fact that a female, which by the way was in the comics, was going to be a Herald of Galactus. And of course, you got all the woke and MCU and all this stuff. And listen, I've been telling y'all, more than likely that was going to be in a different universe. And for the most part, it is confirmed that it's a different universe. So don't worry, Norman Rad is okay, at least for now. Personally, I don't care. I don't care if they change the Silver Surfer's gender. I don't care. But Norman Rad so far is fine. But yeah, I am kind of curious as to what they're going to do. I'm wondering, are you going to do the female story? Because maybe that's a different story in itself. Or are you going to do a combination? Will this be a story, let's say, from the alternate version Silver Surfer, and is it going to be Norrin Rad as well? Now, what's also interesting here, there were rumors and speculations that I shouldn't say rumors, speculations. My man came out and pretty much said it. Lakeith Stanfield had said that or alluded to the fact that he thought that he was going to be the Silver Surfer. Now, of course, the role went off to the other girl from that other Netflix show, I forget. But yeah, a lot of people was kind of like, oh no, Lakeith could have, should have, would have been, Norrin Rad. Now, here's the thing. I would have loved that for him. I think that if you want to give Lakeith Stanfield the role of Norrin Rad, totally fine by me. Totally fine. I am very, very okay with that. I feel as though that character is right within his range to hit. I think that, now I've always said that I wouldn't mind, since it's all CGI anyway. I would have liked Keanu Reeves to do it, but I'm also fine if they want to do an origin story, maybe for Norrin Rad, and how did Lakeith Stanfield, if he does end up becoming him, how does he end up becoming the actual Silver Surfer? I'm cool with that. I'm actually very, very cool with that. If he gets that role, because one thing I will not be okay with is y'all out here trying to make him Blade. I've heard it. I've seen some of y'all out here talking about make Lakeith the new Blade. No. I love Lakeith. I met Lakeith. Cool brother, great brother, talented brother. He ain't meant for everything, though. Everything is not for him. And that's okay. That's okay. Everybody does not need to do everything. I do not want him as Blade. No, thank you. But as Silver Surfer, I think he will be fantastic in that. So if this rumor is true, and if they are going to do a Silver Surfer project, I hope Lakeith will get it. And even if he doesn't get it, I'm somewhat interested. I'm somewhat interested if they go ahead and green light that. But we got another rumor about y'all boy and y'all movie, Captain America: Brave New World. Now, before I share this rumor, let me just say that I think that we have been on record. I think I've been on record, and I think a lot of us have suspected this from the jump. Let me reiterate what I've been saying. Let me reiterate that. I have said that the Captain America brand, the character, the IP, is relatively boring. Now, that does not mean that the MCU movies of Captain America are boring. I'm saying the character himself is not all that compelling with his stories. Now, the Russo brothers, they came in, they did a fantastic job because Winter Soldier, Civil War, Infinity War, Endgame, anytime they touched and had something to do with Captain America, it was cooking. It was cooking. But one thing that I've tried to tell y'all, and I think Winter Soldier is the one exception. That's the one exception. Outside of his origin and outside of that, Captain America needs help. He needs help. Civil War was a mini Avengers movie. You had nobody was like crazy excited initially at the thought of Civil War outside of comic fans because we was like, oh yeah, you know, Tony versus Cap. Okay, cool. Yeah, we down. Then they added some flavor. They took some of that Laurie's. You know what I'm saying? They put that Black Panther spice on there. We was like, oh, what? Let's go. And if that wasn't enough, they said, let's go ahead and throw it up even more. Put Spider-Man in there. Got the Underoos and got that man on. That blew up the internet. Got all the crazy ratings and everything. Y'all forgot that was a Captain America movie. Y'all forgot. I don't. Be honest. Be honest. Some of y'all forget to even call it Captain America Civil War. Y'all just call it Civil War because it really was almost an Avengers movie. Let's just be honest about it, okay? But it just goes to what I've been saying. Captain America needs help. And it's no different when you bring in Captain America Brave New World when it comes to Anthony Mackie's Sam Wilson's character. He's not that interesting. Now, even in the comics, and I'm sure some comic fans might want to argue, and that's fine. In my opinion, the only compelling thing about Sam Wilson becoming Captain America was the fact that he had to deal with the racial issues. The fact that he had to deal with being a black man representing America. Back in Falcon and Winter Soldier, this was one of my biggest critiques about the show. They danced around the racial component. They kind of tiptoed around it. They had police interactions, and it was like, yeah, man, they over policing. All right, Bucky, what do you want to do? You want to go somewhere else and do something? Like, they didn't get into it, you know? Now, Isaiah Bradley, you know, my man was an old black man. He was like, look, they'll never let a black man be Captain America. Like, he was keeping it 100. But Sam kind of, he played it safe. Let's be honest. He played it safe. But you would think that this movie would deal with it because the whole Falcon and Winter Soldier dealt with him stepping into the role and embracing the role. Okay, fine. It's an intro. It's an origin. That's fine. At no point in the trailers, in the advertisements or anything, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong, at no point did we really see a racial component being addressed with this movie. So that lets me know you're not even taking the number one aspect that made the comic story relevant. Because keep in mind, this came out, I want to say 2015, 2016. This was around the Trayvon Martin, the Michael Brown. This is when Black Lives Matter started to pick up. So obviously those elements were very heavy at that time, and it informed a lot of the writing as well. You didn't see none of that as the driving force in this movie. So I'm like, damn, you took away the main thing that made a black Captain America relevant. And what did you do? You threw in some Hulks. Red Hulk over here. You probably gonna get Bruce Banner Hulk. You got the Hulk's enemies with the leader. You got Betsy Ross coming back, the Hulk's girlfriend, and all this stuff. And what have we been saying? This looked like it's gonna be a Hulk movie. Why? Because I told y'all Captain America needs help. Anthony Mackie needs help too, but more importantly, he needs help. Captain America. So, with the almost very apparent addition of Hulk assistance, we have this rumor. And this rumor, because and I guess I should also mention this. The first time they did this movie, and we made a report on this, we talked about it, they had to go back to the drawing board. Because according to some test audiences, the movie was trash. It was boring, and the action was not hitting. And if you're going to have a Captain America movie, and the action ain't hitting, the politics ain't working, throw the whole movie away. Throw it away. That's like saying a Deadpool movie has no action and it's not funny. What are we doing here? Why is this even happening? So they had to go back and do a big old reshoot. They hired a whole new writer just to redo the reshoots, which I've never heard of. That's a lot. So the reshoots had to happen. And I don't know if they got better or not, but I'm hoping that it got better. But we have a rumor here about what we can expect with this. Now, again, take it with a grain of salt. It's a rumor. I don't know if it's a spoiler or not. Whatever. I don't care. I don't care. But it says here, after reshoots, the ending and post-credit scenes of Captain America Brave New World will reportedly set up the World War Hulks project. Wow. So I guess a couple of things to think about here. First of all, shout out to World War Hulk. I've been here for this. I've been waiting for this. I'm here for yes. I think one thing most Marvel fans have been looking for and asking for was a Hulk standalone movie. Of course, the Hulk movies have been tied up in rights ownership and stuff like that. I think it was Universal or Paramount, one of those. But yeah, like if this is gonna set up a future Hulk movie, I'm here for it. I think it's kind of sad that it has to come at the expense of Captain America. Like, you would think a Captain America movie would end, and maybe you set up something like you're teasing the future Avengers movie, Doomsday, something like that. That's fine. But it's like, damn, you can't even set yourself up. You can't. There's nothing else for Sam. I mean, I don't know the ending, but I'm just saying, like, I would have thought that maybe this movie's job would be to solidify the main character and to uplift the main character for the future. But it sounds like this is really just going to be more so a caveat for more Hulk. If this is true. Whew. And I think the only other weird part about this, you already had a World War Hulk set up. It was in She-Hulk. You literally showed Hulk show up with some random kid that's claiming to be his Scar. That's your setup right there. My man said, "Hey, I gotta leave. I gotta bounce. I'll be back, y'all." He need more help. So you guys let me know. How do you feel about this Captain America? Can we just call it a Hulk movie? Can we just call it Captain Hulk? How do y'all feel about this Captain Hulk movie? Um, are you down for this setting up World War Hulk? How do you feel about the Silver Surfer project? Whatever you think, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. All right, Baker. Oh, thank you so much, Baker. I appreciate you for that. Tony, what you got? Thank you so much. First trailer for Hellboy, The Crooked Man wasn't that good, but the second one was a lot better. I didn't even know they had a second one. I didn't even know. And I heard some good things about it. And plus, it's Millennium Media. You always expect a good time when you see that studio. Okay. I mean, listen, I'm still gonna give it a shot. I will still go ahead and watch that Hellboy movie. I'm just glad that I could watch it in the comfort of my own home. Like I'm glad I don't have to go out, pay money, spend my time and energy, my gas. Like if I could watch it at home, my expectations go down. Anytime a studio makes you go out, pay more money, and spend more time to watch something, you better be worth it. So this to me sounds like a Saturday night. I'm gonna watch this thing, when I'm just bored or whatever, and hopefully it'll be cool. I'm hopefully it's gonna be not that bad. Hopefully. Thank you so much, Tony. I really appreciate you on that. What else you got here? You like the last Hellboy movie? Hey, listen. I cannot co-sign on that with you. In my opinion, the last Hellboy movie was trash. It was atrocious to me. However, as I've said before, a lot of people like bad movies, and that's okay. That is okay. So if you like it, that is fine. I like some trash movies too. There's some movies that I love and are absolutely gutter booty trash. And that's fine. I can live with that dilemma in my head. So yeah, if you liked it, man, that is all good. Not mad about that at all. I will try to get to your other question a little later. JN, the MCU has struggled with black characters. They have. They've definitely struggled with black characters, but again, I push back on that because I think that we have so few black characters that we hyper focus on what they do right or wrong. I think that the MCU has struggled with a lot of characters, but again, when you only have so few, it's easier to pay more attention to that. And at the same time, while they have struggled with black characters, that is true, they've also done the most with black characters compared to any other studio as well. Like you got to take the good with the bad. Like they made Black Panther. They're making a Wonder Man. They're making, an Ironheart. They're doing stuff with black characters that you tell me, what is DC doing? What is Sony doing? Like, what are they doing with these black comic book characters? They're barely showing them. They're barely giving them movies at all. So yes, I agree with you. Marvel is definitely struggling, but damn it, they're also doing the most with them too. So you got to take the good with the bad. Let's see. JN, the Cat 4 trailer looks better than the T-Bolts trailer. Thunderbolts. Yeah, it does. Yeah, I mean, maybe. I guess. I don't. Both of them are kind of like, like neither one. Captain America, Thunderbolts, Neither one of them are making me get super excited. Now, the movies could be great. They could be great. I'm just saying, ain't neither one of them gonna sit here and make me be like, oh man, gotta do this, or oh man, gotta go to that. I'll watch them. Maybe watch party. I don't know. But yeah, I can't say either one is getting me super excited. Like Deadpool got me super excited. Deadpool was like, yo, on site watch party. On site. The moment Ryan Reynolds said Hugh Jackman is coming back, it was done. Let's go. We here. Neither one of these movies have done that for me. Neither one. But yeah, I don't know. Comparing both of them, I don't know. But thank you for that. Nelson, call it Captain America versus Red Hulk. Sure. You know, I'm still calling it Captain Hulk. It might as well be Captain Hulk. Why not? Tony, do you think Lionsgate is having a bad year? I don't know. What are they? Let's see what they you be having me do research. What are they doing? Let's see. What have they done? Lionsgate movies. Honestly, I don't know if I would say that they're having a bad year. Oh, they did Megalopolis. Oh, and they did the Halle Berry movie, Never Let Go. Yeah. The only thing that comes up to me to mind right now is that R. Kelly video. Like they're fighting for their freaking lives right now. They're fighting. But I mean that's just that. Oh, they did Borderlands too. Oh. But you know what? Listen, this whole year got to be a tax write-off. There's got to be a write-off. It's not a good year. It's not a good year. So yes, to answer your question, yeah, I think it's safe to say they're not having a great year. Now they can still rebound. They can still come out with some stuff. Let's see, what do they have that's coming up? Y'all gotta have something, right? They got Den of Thieves. They got the Ballerina. They got that Mark Wahlberg Flight Risk movie. I don't know if that whatever. So they'll be all right. They'll be something. I don't know. Something might happen. Maybe. Kind of. We'll see. All right. We got two more topics. Let's get into this. Let's talk about toxic fandom. Now, if you've been watching my channel, y'all know we have dealt with this so many times. We've dealt with, literally insert TV movie with black, brown, women, LGBT people here, and you gonna get some backlash. And the backlash is like clockwork. You know it's coming every time, anytime. I'm glad they put this picture up too, because that's it. Somebody just got triggered seeing this image. Matter of fact, let me make it bigger for them. Somebody got just triggered just looking at a brown elf, looking at a female superhero, looking at two women kissing on screen. Somebody's brain just melted because this just exists. So the studios, and we'll go into what they're doing. Apparently they have a new plan on how to deal with this. And we'll talk about that plan, and we'll also talk about some of my personal grievances with some of these things. Because I got problems with the studios and I got problems with the fans. I got problems with everybody. So as a critic, I got some things. But you know what? Let's just jump into it. Because I'll get to it. Let's get into the plans on how to deal with this phenomenon, this issue. By the way, look at this. Did y'all know? Look at that image right there. Did y'all know that was Jack Nicholson's son? Did y'all know that? Look at his face. For Smile 2, that looked like him too. That boy, them jeans strong. Got them strong jeans. All right, just for sake of clarity, toxic fandom, it's the catch-all term for when fan criticisms curdles from good faith dissatisfaction into relentlessly negative, often bigoted online campaign against either the project or its star or creative leaders. So let me put that a little bit more plainly. The toxic fandom is not, oh my God, nope, I have to say this slowly for some people that are watching. When we talk about toxic fandom, we are not talking about the people that have good faith disagreements about a show or a movie. So if you don't like the writing, if you thought the acting was bad, if you thought the direction of the show, the pacing was poor, we're not talking about you. You are not part of the toxic fandom when you have legitimate criticisms based off of what you've seen. Okay? Now, for those of y'all coming in the comments, that's going to be talk. I'm just going to point you right back to this because clearly you didn't hear me. If you still going to be like, but no, I didn't like the writing and they called me toxic. No, you probably said something worse. That's probably why. So when we talk about the toxic fandom, we're talking about the folks that start off with good disagreements, but it goes down the rabbit hole where it just turns out to be bigoted or discriminatory or hateful rhetoric. Okay. And it can get to a even worse level where people are harassing the creatives, they're harassing the actors, they're sending death threats and stuff. Those are the people we're talking about that are toxic. Okay. There's a very big difference between, man, I didn't like the pacing, I didn't like the direction of the show, versus, man, why you got all these women? Oh, here we go with another agenda. Oh, man, they got the LGBTQ. Those are the bad ones. Those are the ones that go down. That's not even a good faith argument. You just really, and let's be honest, when you sit here and start talking about something is, nope, I'm going to get there later. Those are the toxic ones. Okay. If you got legitimate issues, no one's talking about you. And let me give y'all another little piece of advice. If you have legitimate arguments, legitimate articulate points against a show or a movie, stop lumping yourself in the same bucket as the toxic folks. Because some of y'all do that to yourselves. We don't even be talking about y'all that have legitimate issues, but you be like, oh my gosh, they're calling me toxic because I disagree with something. No, that's not. No, you just put yourself in that bucket. Don't do that to yourself. Leave the bigoted, discriminatory people. Let them cook on their own. And you have your arguments on the side. Let me continue because now y'all get me riled up. So that's what toxic fandom is, right? Now, a veteran marketing executive from a big studio, they said here that they think, some of these toxic fans, they think the purity of the first version of the movie, show, or whatever will never be replaced. Or you've done something to upset the canon of a beloved franchise, and they're going to take you down for doing so. This veteran is absolutely talking about Star Wars fans. There's no question about it. They are talking about Star Wars fans, okay? Because Star Wars fans, oh my gosh, like, I don't know. There's a competition, and I'm going to be very careful with what I say with this, so please listen. The fans that harass, that are bigoted, that say racist stuff and do terrible things, those specific Star Wars fans and those specific Snyder fans, the Snyder Cut folks, boy, y'all be in a race that's neck and neck for who can be worse. Now, again, I'm not talking about all Star Wars fans, and I'm not talking about all Snyder fans. I'm talking about the worst of the worst, the ones that are harassing people, that are cussing people, that are using racial stuff and all. I'm talking about those lower of the lower folks. But yes, there is this idea that if a studio decides to do something new with their property, by the way, keep in mind the IP belongs to them, not y'all, that all of a sudden it's like, I don't know, sacrilege. It's blasphemous. It's just a problem because the studio wants to expand and tell maybe different sides of a story or add different elements to a story, as if the old stuff that you love and you cherish is going away. It's not. If you like the old stuff, ain't nobody didn't nobody get rid of the old Star Wars movies. If you love the original trilogy, if you love the comics, if you love the novels, you can still read them. You can still go watch them. Nothing is getting rid of those things. And guess what? Canon might change, and that's okay. It happens. It happens literally in the comics all the time. There are certain comic lines or comic stories that used to be canon. They're not canon anymore. But guess what? That doesn't mean those things still can't be your favorite. And because they can still be your favorite, it doesn't mean you have to turn into an a-hole and mess it up for future people that might enjoy the new stuff. Multiple things can exist, and we can all enjoy them at the same time, even if we don't like everything. Let me continue. So we have some examples here. For example, House of the Dragon, the episode featuring two female characters kissing, or in The Last of Us, the fantastic episode of a gay couple that was review bombed. And for those of you that don't know, the practice of review bombing is the practice of mobbing websites like Rotten Tomatoes or IMDb and just giving them a whole bunch of negative reviews. So that's part of that. It says here also an entire YouTube ecosystem is devoted to declaring projects like the Marvels and The Boys woke garbage. Let's have some time with this. I'm so glad that they mentioned here that it's an ecosystem, because some of y'all that are caught up in that ecosystem don't even know that you are caught up in an algorithm black hole. You don't realize that because you kept clicking on, oh, the Marvel sucks, oh, the Marvel's woke, oh, the Marvel is terrible, oh, the Marvels is bad, you don't realize that you have trained the algorithm to show you only videos just like that. So what does that mean? What ends up happening is you start to get confirmation bias because you see all these videos that reinforce your negative perspective. You think it's gotta be true. You think everyone believes that this thing is bad. And that is part of the problem, especially when it comes to social media. We see it happen with politics all the time, where people are stuck in their echo chambers because they don't realize that they need to break away from the algorithm that only shows them one thing that you click on. If all you click on is just that one thing, you're not going to hear no other perspectives. And you're going to mess around and think that you're right, but you're not. You're just stuck in the matrix of your own bias. Now, again, it's fine for you to have your own opinion, but unfortunately, a lot of these folks that do go end up becoming toxic, they believe that their bias is now fact. And that's where it starts to get messy. When you start thinking that your personal opinion is a fact, that's where it's like, yo, you need to chill out, Because unfortunately, these same folks that will go out and harass the actors or send death threats or do all these other crazy, ridiculous things, they are doing it because they feel emboldened by this algorithmic black hole that they've fallen into and don't even realize that they've been trapped. And by the way, when people sit here and say this is woke garbage, I want us to be up close. When you say woke garbage, I'm saying this I don't care if you want to unsubscribe. I don't care. It shows that you don't know what you're talking about. Because whenever people today talk about wokeness, it's really just a cover for bigotry and discrimination. Whenever you say woke, you're really just saying, I can't say something racist, so I'll just use woke instead. When you want to say something misogynistic because you don't like women being at the forefront, you just call it woke. When you want to say something's got too many of the blacks, you'd call it woke. When something's got too many of the non-straight heterosexual stuff, you gotta call it woke. Stop using that as a cover. Stand in your bigotry. Be 100 about it. Say it with your chest. You already gonna be labeled bigoted anyway. Just say it. You don't like the women, fine. You don't like the blacks, fine. You don't like the browns, fine. Stop trying to use woke as cover. It's not working. That's all I'm saying. It's not working. Y'all can't even define wokeness. You get 3 people in a room, ask them to define woke, you're going to get 3 different combinations of a definition. That's how messed up this whole thing has become. It's not even a real thing anymore. Stop using this as smokescreen. We understand it. You don't like certain things. That's fine. Stand in your truth. So that way, when you do stand in your truth, you're going to come and get the consequences of people that disagree with you, and they're going to call you what you are because that's what you put it out to be. But stop trying to be what you're not. Stop trying to pretend. You don't like women. You don't like black folks. You don't like gay people. Just say that. Just say it. We already know it. You the only one living a lie. All right. Sorry. Got caught up. The backlash begins before the project has even seen the light of day. Oh my God. Yes, I have to talk about this. This is why I don't respect half of your opinions. This is why. I do not have a problem with somebody having an issue with something. Y'all know I'm a critic. I call things bad all the time. But I actually watched it. Look at Megalopolis. Didn't nobody like that movie? But guess what? I can't call it trash because I haven't personally seen it. I can say other people believe it's trash because they clearly are not paying for it. The reviews are going down. This thing got a D+ on Cinema Score. So yeah, objectively, other people believe it's trash, but I can't do that because I haven't seen the movie. I can't do that. So when some of y'all come out here, haven't seen a lick of a TV show or a movie, but all of a sudden it's woke, and then all of a sudden it's therefore bad. Let me explain why that's problematic. First of all, it's ignorant. Literally, it's the definition of ignorance. You're trying to criticize something you don't know anything for real about. You don't know what the story is. You don't know what's going to happen in the plot or nothing. So you're literally flaunting your ignorance when you criticize something before seeing it. That's one problem. Then you also have the issue of when this thing is sitting here, when you do not know what it's about, then it's kind of like, why should we take your opinion seriously? Like what legitimacy is there in whatever you're talking about when you don't know what it is that you're even criticizing? And here's the irony in all this, because so many times you'll hear people talk about, oh, here we go with the agenda. Here comes the agenda. Surprise. Hating on stuff before it comes out, that is an agenda. So the people, the same folks criticizing agendas, are using their own agenda to criticize stuff that they haven't seen yet. Hey, Pot, have you met Kettle? I'm sorry. Let me get back. So, the backlash that begins before the project has seen the light of day. And the examples of this would be like a Reddit mega thread dedicated to outrage over Bridgerton casting a black woman. Like, I don't even, okay. It was directed at the actors of color cast as elves and dwarves in the Rings of Power. Death threats aimed at Leslie Jones during the press tour for the Ghostbusters movie. You have got to be a special kind of person to be upset that elves and dwarves are different people of color. You really mad over? I saw somebody comment over this, and they said here, I'm like paraphrasing, but I'm quoting at the same time. They were like, because somebody asked them, like, why do you have an issue with the fact that some of the elves and dwarves and Rings of Power are like, different colors? And he was like, it just takes me out of it because, it just goes against scientific rationale and the genealogy just doesn't add up. I said, what did you just say science and fantasy? Are you trying to use the scientific method in fantasy? How does science explain, I don't know, everything in Rings of Power? What's the science of elves? What's the science of Gandalf? What's the science of Sauron? What? This is yet again that scapegoat of I gotta hide my racism. I gotta find science. No. When your excuse is worse than your bigotry, just stop. Just be racist. Just say, like, you know what, man, I grew up watching white people be elves and dwarves. So for me, it's a little awkward seeing other people of color. I'd at least respect you for being more honest about it. I'd at least expect you to, I'd hope that you be more honest, at least. You don't have to, just say that. Jesus. All right. But yeah, in death threats, why? What? Over Ghostbusters? Just here's the FYI. Just let me help y'all, because I'll be trying. I care about y'all. If y'all don't like something, the number one way to kill any project is to not give it your money or your time or your attention. Did we not just see that 90s show just got canceled? Why did it get canceled? Because didn't nobody watch it. There was no agenda. There was didn't nobody care about it. It just died off. It just floated away. Nobody's going to think twice about it. It's done. So if you really hate something, if you really are just anti whatever, I don't care. Have your personal opinions. Stop giving it energy. Because every time you give it energy, it probably is going to get more attention, more views, more money, and it might just continue. Just ignore it. What else do we have? John Van Sitters. He's the VP of Star Trek brand development. He said here, the number of people who live and die on their franchises are very, very few. And then those who come after things that they espouse to love with venom are a really, really tiny subset of that already smaller subset of fandom. It's just much easier to see it now. And he's right. I mean, you have social media. Social media is obviously a way for people to be more vocal. And of course, when you have certain influencers, YouTube channels and stuff like that, they're going to have a big reach. And if they have that big reach, and as we talked about, they create that funnel that only reinforces confirmation bias, it's an easy way to uplift a certain message, even if that message is negative. So yeah, he's absolutely right. He said here, particularly when it's negative, toxic conversations, some of these executives, they just don't even engage with it. One principal concern is that reaching to these kinds of attacks risks alienating fans who are unhappy with creative choices about a franchise, but haven't tipped over into abusive behavior. So this is my issue. This is my issue as well. I don't like the idea of, well, it's tricky. It is tricky because if you respond to the negativity, you therefore legitimize it, right? Like you actually give it energy and you give it life. And you can't just respond to everybody. I think it was Jay-Z or somebody that basically was like, if he responded to every hater, like he would just, it would never end and he would just make all these other people's careers. So like you just ignore it, right? But I think that it's actually very real. And this is the problem that I have, is that these negative type of reactions, the more toxic, very, very small subset type of people, you're drowning out the actual folks that are fans and that actually have an issue with the show or the movie. Like the people that really have issues with the creative decisions can't even be heard because the other folks that are too busy being misogynistic, sexist, and racist and bigoted are too loud. A perfect example, like I mentioned before, was The Acolyte. I told y'all, I watched the show. I watched the whole thing. By the way, I still don't see like all the LGBT stuff in it. I was like, man, it's a bunch of witches. Like y'all act like y'all saw them getting it on in the background or something. Y'all didn't see nothing. But the show had real issues to me. The pacing, character development, the way that they were telling all these scrambled stories and stuff, it had issues. Okay? But do you think Lucasfilm was ever going to hear that over all the other people that were like complaining, well, this isn't Star Wars canon, and this alien actually was not supposed to be alive? And like you heard all this other stuff that was so loud that, like, who knows what could have been changed or at least would have been well received by the studio if these loud, very minority filled type of groups would have just been like quiet about it. I'm not saying they shouldn't have their opinion, but what I'm saying is that y'all sat here and made this like almost a whole campaign. Y'all made it's just like with the Snyder Cut. It's just like with any of these type of things. Y'all be so loud with this stuff that and so negative with it, and the negativity is not based on anything really concrete. Even the whole accusation about the acolyte not being canon, that was stupid. Because we've known, I don't even care how deep of a Star Wars fan you are, you have known ever since Lucasfilm bought Disney bought Lucasfilm, the novels, the comics, all that stuff is not canon. Not no more. And you only living in a state of delusion if you still think it is. They've already said years ago that only the movies and TV shows count. So if you still holding on to that old stuff, you the one that's living in some weird type of reality, because we already know that's not the case anymore. But anyway, that frustrates me. It frustrates me when the studios are not able to actually hear legitimate criticisms of their shows, because now anytime somebody says something negative, it might be misinterpreted as potentially being part of that loud, wrong, bigoted crowd. And I don't like that, because I've always told y'all the number one way to get a lot of these shows or movies to be better is to let the studios know. But you have to do it in a constructive way. These studios want to make more money. They want your eyeballs. They want you to watch their stuff. But if you're going to sit here and only complain about racist, bigoted stuff, that has nothing to do with like the actual story, characters, plot, or anything like that, they're going to ignore you. That's what the other person just said. That's what the other exec just said. Particularly when it comes to the negative, toxic conversations, we don't even engage. That means that when you sit here and talk about too many gays, too many women, too many blacks, they're not going to listen to you. It's going in one ear and out the other. Now, if you sit here and be like, hey, man, y'all need more than 6 episodes. Hey, this story is too slow. Y'all need more action. Hey, you know what? This character is too boring. Y'all need to spice it up. That's the stuff that they're going to listen to. That's the stuff that they're going to be like, oh, okay, you know what? We got to make that work. We got to change this up. We got to do this. We got to do that. And here's the other thing. And I can't believe I'm helping y'all with this. If you don't like the gay storylines, if you don't like the female-centric storylines, what did I tell you before? Just don't watch it. Again, not engaging with something, not talking about it, not giving it views. That is how you make the thing die. Now, maybe it won't because it's actually good and people like it. But what I'm saying is the more energy you give to something that you don't like, the less likely it's going to work in terms of entertainment and TV and movies. If you go pay $20 to go watch the Marvels and then turn around and complain because it's too many women and you don't like it, they got your $20. They already won. They don't care what you're talking about after that. You made your vote already. But if you don't go watch, you don't give it a view, you don't talk about it on social media, which does not allow it to trend, and it does not allow bigger outlets to take that trend and give that show more attention and have more people watch it, that's how it actually goes down and maybe dies a slow death. So a lot of y'all, again, who are entitled to your opinions, a lot of y'all that don't like something, you guys feed the very thing that you don't like, which makes no sense. Yes, you can have your opinion, but at the same time, I'm just saying, be more strategic about it. Don't talk about, there's so much stuff out there to watch. Y'all could watch 50 million different things. When you don't watch something, that is the number one signal to the studio, we don't like this. You don't even need to say nothing. Okay. It says here, so studios try to attempt to amplify friendlier voices instead of engaging with the negative ones. One rep said that we'll reply to comments that are positive and elevate those things. Now, I do think that that's a little risky as well. I mean, if something is objectively just not that good, if let's say the story is not good, the character, whatever, don't be uplifting like the positive comments only. I need you to engage with all the constructive criticism as well as the praise too. Do both. Don't just go one-sided. So that is a criticism I don't like the studios doing. I want them to see the good and the bad so that they can learn from those. Now it says here, those who did talk to Variety, a lot of the companies and reps and stuff, they all agree that the best defense is to avoid provoking fandoms in the first place. In addition to standard focus group testing, studios will assemble a specialized cluster of superfans to assess possible marketing materials for a major franchise project. Hi, I'm Emmanuel, Eman, Noisette. Good to meet you. Super fan here. Many, many different franchises. I'd love to help your franchise out. I'd love to help your studio out. Hire me. I don't even need the money. Just bring it. Hey, fly me out because I'm a little broke. But I'm just saying, I'll help. I will help. I don't need. This is why you have critics. This is literally why you have critics. Why do you need these super fans? I'm just saying, like, first of all, the reason why I don't like this, taking these quote unquote super fans is problematic because you think that you're going to avoid any type of backlash. But the problem is the fact that the most problematic issue is their underlying argument. If the underlying argument is anything rooted in misogyny, racism, and bigotry, why are you taking that? That's like saying, hey, before we do Black Panther, I know the KKK folks have been really loud about this. Come on in and y'all let us know, how can we market Black Panther a little bit better so y'all will be okay with it? That's what this sounds like. That's what this sounds like. How are you going to convince a KKK member on the why would you even take their advice? Why would you even want to know what they think? Even if that KKK member says, I love Marvel, I'm a Marvel fan, I'm not listening to you about Black Panther. I'm just not. So I do think that the studios are kind of going down a tricky road here, trying to get these little focus groups with these quote unquote super fans. Yeah, I don't really see how that can help. Now, I will say this, and this was a criticism that I did have for like Marvel and some of the other franchises as well. I do think that they need to do a better job at training their cast, their crew, etc. Now, we'll get into that. They do some of that, but I mentioned how with Agatha all along, they're on the red carpet, and one of the people from Variety is like, oh man, Agatha's got to be one of the gayest Marvel properties ever. And guess what? Most of the cast, or a lot of them, was like, yeah, it's super gay. Yeah. Now, again, I don't care that it's gay, right? But when you promote it that way, you do run the risk of one, isolating a bunch of other people who probably would be like, oh, it's a gay show. Oh, okay, maybe that's not for me. That doesn't mean that they hate it, but maybe that's just not what they're into. And you also run the risk of provoking that very loud minority that just hates everything gay anyway. So you do run that double risk from a marketing perspective. And maybe you do need to train your people on how to like engage with the press, engage with the interviews. This is the same thing that happened with the Acolyte, because it was based off of one little comment from one reporter, one journalist, asking them something like, oh, this is like the gayest Star Wars thing ever, whatever. And even though the main actor and the showrunner were joking, people took that and ran with it, and they trashed the show over that. Even though, and I would still argue, in this show, you don't really see anything that amplifies that. Like, some things are implied, but you don't see nothing. So I do think that the marketing does matter. It does matter. And yeah, you can't control what the press say, you can't control what the media say, but you can control what your people say. You can control that. The studio exec says they're very vocal. They will just tell us, if you do that, fans are going to retaliate. These groups have even led studios to alter the projects. If it's early enough and the movie isn't finished yet, we can make those kinds of changes. All right. Now, again, there are two issues with this. When they say, first of all, you're talking about the super fans, and you're probably talking to the same super fans that have been echoing a lot of the negative bigotry and discriminatory stuff that have been problematic. So if those are the people you're talking to, and I'm saying, like, maybe they have some constructive criticism people in there, maybe. But if you're talking to the ones that are, let's just say, the real toxic fans, they don't speak for the rest of us fans. Those toxic fans, even if they have a big reach, does not mean that they speak for the rest of us. Because I don't get offended just because I see women are leading something, or brown people or black people. I don't care. If it's a gay thing, guess what? There are a lot of gay shows on Netflix. I don't watch them. Why? Because that's not for me. But I also don't hate the fact that other people that they exist. I don't hate the fact that someone else might enjoy it. I just don't watch it because it's not for me. I'm not the audience. That's okay. It's okay for these things to exist and it not be for you. That is okay. But the other side of that, they said that, they'll tell them, they'll alter it and stuff like that. I don't know how good of an idea that is to be changing things based off of what these super fans say. Because if you are, as a studio, have a commitment to start serving underrepresented groups, let's be honest, let's just say black folks. Hey, you know what? Man, we've been struggling with black characters lately. We want to do more black characters like Blade, Blue Marvel, Mace Windu. We want to do some more black characters. Hey, super fans, what do you guys think? Well, if you put all those blacks up there, the fans are going to turn on you. So you shouldn't even do it. Oh, really? Okay, I guess no more blacks then. You see how this goes? Now, some of y'all might have your own particular issues of like, well, I don't like gay stuff. Well, I don't really like women. Yeah, but some of y'all are black. And some of y'all really like black stuff. Just imagine that same ideology will apply to your minority persuasion in the same capacity. It goes all different ways. So to me, I'd rather everybody just cook. Let the gays cook. Let the blacks cook. Let the browns cook. Let the women cook. Let the white guys cook. Let everybody cook. But now if you're going to be sitting here afraid of what these very minority super fans are going to say, that's an issue. But, and I think that this is just more so from a common sense perspective, stop leading with quote unquote agendas, right? Stop leading with, this is the blackest movie that we've ever seen from Marvel. You don't need to say that. Let us say that. You don't need to say, this is the gayest thing that Marvel's ever done. You don't need to say that. Let us say that. It's kind of like with nicknames. If you're in sports or whatever, and you don't just walk around saying that, I'm this, I'm that. You let other people give you a nickname. When other people give you a nickname, when other people can label you, that's more effective than you just saying like, okay, I'm the GOAT. I'm the greatest of all time. Michael Jordan did not have to walk around saying he was the GOAT. He let other people during his career say that. Other people were crowning him. He didn't have to come in and say, I'm the king. No shade, but it is a little corny if you calling yourself the king. I'm just saying. But when other people label this as like, man, Black Panther is the blackest thing we ever seen. Okay, cool. Let the audiences say that stuff. But if you go around parading that, you're going to run the risk of isolating people. You're going to run the risk of like having poor marketing. So maybe don't talk about it. Let it exist. And if it happens, it's cool. If people like it, they like it. If they don't, they don't. But at least you can't go out there and put yourself to blame. What else do we have? Several studio insiders say they often put their talent through social media boot camp. Some cases, that's when a character is intentionally challenging a franchise's status quo. Studios will, with the actor's permission, they will take over their social media accounts entirely when things get really bad, especially involving threats of violence. Security firms will scrub the talent's information from the internet to protect them from doxing. And for those of you that don't know, doxing is when your personal information gets leaked out, your address, your number, etc., for people to harass you. And this is what I'm talking about in terms of toxic fans. Once again, I'm not talking about the people that just don't happen to like something. I'm talking about the people that go to that extra level where now you send in inboxes to the actor, you're sending racial stuff, you're sending death threats, you're harassing, the studio. I'm talking about those people. The mere fact that the studios have to go to this length shows how bad this toxic fandom has gotten. And again, if that does not apply to you, please be quiet, because I'm not talking about you. We're talking about those people that go that extra mile, that do the most. In 2022, with Moses Ingram, right? The Obi-Wan situation. Moses Ingram said that she had gotten hundreds of racist messages sent out to her just because of her role. Lucasfilm had to go out their way, and they had to say that there are more than 20 million sentient species in the Star Wars galaxy. Don't choose to be a racist. So here's my issue with this, because I wrote about this. I wrote a whole article about this on Screen Rant. Feel free to go check it out. What I don't like about this situation, first of all, my heart goes out to people like Moses Ingram, because she ain't the first. We know about Kelly Marie Tran and excuse me, a litany of and that's just Star Wars, right? Just Star Wars folks that were getting harassed and stuff. You don't need to see that. That's not okay. And let's be honest, when you are a celebrity, when you are someone of high profile stature and you're on social media, you're going to get a lot of inboxes. You're going to get a lot of DMs. Some of y'all, listen, for the average person, you only getting stuff from people that you know. And you'll be lucky if it's like more than 5 friends, right? But once you get up to the point where you got 10,000 followers, 100,000, a million, your inbox is going to get flooded. Some of it might be good stuff. Some of it might be bad. Some of it might be weird. Some of it might be racist or bigoted. So Moses Ingram was getting hundreds of racist people commenting and sending her stuff like that. Now, that's bad. My issue here is not even what Star Wars said, because Star Wars gave a very safe comment, and they were like, oh, there's all these aliens and species out there, and don't choose to be racist. My issue with this is not even so much with Star Wars, because I do believe Star Wars could have done better. I do believe they could have been stronger about it. I think that they could have simply said, like, hey, we make entertainment for all of you. All of these actors work hard. Please respect them. Do not be racist. Do not be misogynistic. Please treat everybody with respect. That's it. You ain't got to be cute about it. You ain't got to be like, oh, the aliens in the galaxy far. You ain't got to do all that. Hey, y'all, stop playing. We are all human beings. Nobody needs to be getting harassed. That's one thing for Star Wars or Lucasfilm. My other issue is the fact that, and y'all read what they said. This is what Lucasfilm said. There are more than 20 million sentient species in the Star Wars galaxy. Don't choose to be a racist. My problem is the fandom that looks at that statement and says, oh, they're talking about all Star Wars fans. Oh my gosh. They're calling me a racist. Can somebody please help me understand the logic here? How does don't choose to be a racist, how does that apply to all Star Wars fans as being labeled as racist? I mean, honest question. Because my issue is the fact that when I've seen a lot of these YouTubers and a lot of the social media folks' reactions, I'll be like, wait a minute, what? Why are you mad? Even in that interview with the Acolyte, and I don't have the interview right now, but if you go back and listen to that interview, the interview literally said, or the interviewer said, hey, there are some Star Wars fans that don't like this, or whatever. I seen a big Star Wars channel look at that same interview and be like, I can't believe that they said all Star Wars fans don't like gay people. I was like, wait, what? Did you miss the part where they said some? But then you extrapolate it and say that it's all, and your audience that's probably halfway listening to you is like, they said we all just rate what? Now you get this avalanche effect of negativity that's based off of somebody mishearing something or just being, I don't know, willfully ignorant. And that's my issue. Like, what's wrong with some of y'all? Because some of y'all, again, I feel like y'all just be telling on yourselves. If somebody says, hey, man, don't choose to be racist. And if your first reaction is, did you call me a racist? You probably have some issues you need to work out. You just might have some issues. That's the whole hit dog will holler thing in full effect. Please stop doing that. Please stop. And I've had some people come at me and be like, man, you know, some of the studios, they would label all the fans this and all the fans that. And I'm like, show it to me. Show me where the studios definitively put out a statement, not some random person online, not some random. Show me where a studio has labeled an entire fan base negatively, and I will be first in line to condemn that studio and their actions. If Lucasfilm said, you know what, every Star Wars fan is a jerk, I'll be the first one in line to be like, hey man, Lucasfilm, first of all, screw you. I'll be the first one in line. But if they're talking about specific people that are doing specific things that is not something you're doing, why are you taking offense to it? Unless you associate with those same people. Unless those same people are your tribe. Anyway. This is a long one. I'm sorry, guys. This was a long one. Rings of Power condemned the relentless racism, threats, harassment, and abuse some of their castmates of color were being subjected to on a daily basis. The Amazon Studios chief, Vernon Sanders, said, people have had a chance to actually engage with the show, Rings of Power. Overwhelmingly, what we've seen is that folks who came with an open mind can discuss and debate their favorite things, which takes you out of the place of that ugly conversation that happened with some folks who may have been infused with an agenda that's separate from the show itself. And that was such a beautiful way of putting it. Sometimes, if you just watch the show, if you just tune out all these agenda-driven people that, and the agenda is, I'm going to pre-hate before I watch it. Sometimes if you actually watch the show, you might mess around and find some things that you like. You might find some things that you don't like. And then, I don't know, crazy thought, we have a civil conversation about it. Hey man, I really didn't like that character's journey in this story, but you know what? I really like the theme of how they really capitalize on this or that. Like, y'all remember that? Do we remember the civil conversation that wasn't fueled by some social media hashtag that was trending or some YouTube channel that was getting people all pissed off? And by the way, I hope y'all don't fall for that stuff, because a lot of them dudes are doing that, or dudes and girls. A lot of them are doing it because they know you're going to be dumb enough to keep clicking. Let's just be honest. They know the money. That's where the money resides. They know that. Matter of fact, even Facebook knows that. Facebook almost got into a whole legal drama about the whole fact that or some of the former employees was talking about how Zuckerberg was allowing hateful, negative stuff to be on the platform because it kept the clicks coming in. It kept people watching. It got the people going. And guess what? Some of y'all, not all, some, very few, are still watching these things because they know that rage and anger is going to keep you locked in. So, you know, good luck. Good luck with that. But actually watching things might help. It might help. Last but not least, this is from Elizabeth Olsen from WandaVision. She says, there is one other way. Well, it says here, there is one other way to handle toxic fans on the internet. Stay off of it. She says, I'm not online, so I'm protected. All right. First of all, I say no. No. I hate that. It is 2024. I hate people acting as though the internet is not an integral part of our lives now. I say this as a millennial, okay? I say this as somebody who grew up in the age, man, it sounds dated. Back in my day, we didn't have the internet. Before the internet and after the internet. So I'm in between. But to sit here and act like people just gonna stay off the internet is stupid. Stop it. Now, if you live in the country, you know what I'm saying? If it's your religious thing or whatever, fine. Not gonna knock it. But for the average person, being on the internet is a thing. So let's not act like it's okay for people to just not be on the internet. How about people just stop being racist, bigoted, and discriminatory? How about that? Why don't we address that rather than, all right, y'all, you can't live on Earth anymore. Sorry. Mars is open. Get out of here. Anyway, that's it. What do y'all think about the studio's approach to dealing with the toxic fandom? How do you feel about this idea of collecting super fans to help them gauge what they should do or not? Do you like the idea that they're training a lot of their cast and crew on how to engage with them? I don't know. You guys let me know. And by the way, there's always the block button. Okay, like y'all can block. I block a lot. I don't care. Like, no. Shout out to Matumbo. No. I don't care. I know, and y'all know, I have no problem with people having a difference of opinion. I ain't gonna name no names, but y'all seen some difference of opinions, I'm sure, in the chat, and I'm okay with that. I do get to blocking though when you get disrespectful and when you get personal. Now, when you start getting off topic, when you start calling me out my name, when you start doing, that's when you just gonna get blocked. Like it's just that simple, But y'all let me know. What do you think about this whole topic when it comes to fandom and toxicity and all that? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Ooh, that was a lot. But I need some water. I said this was gonna be short. Dang it. I purposely had shorter topics just to. JN, I do think certain agendas are being pushed. However, Americans don't like to expand their mind thinking nationalism. We are banning books like idiots. Yes, I think that's true. There are agendas being pushed. I think that we just have to be understanding of why those agendas are being pushed. Put it to you like this. If America was never a racist, sexist country to begin with, and I'm not trying to be mean, I'm not trying to be unpatriotic, I'm just saying it literally was racist, slavery, and it was sexist, women couldn't do anything. Remember, y'all couldn't vote for a while. So I'm just saying, factually based on that, if we never started off that way, if we started off on an equal playing field, there would be no agenda. There would be nothing to catch up to. There would be nothing to balance out, right? So, when people talk about certain agendas, yeah. But if I'm going to sit here as a black man in America, and I do have an agenda, I want to see more black representation positively put on screen. That's my agenda. I want that agenda. I would be a hypocrite if I were to sit here and say my underrepresented perspective should have more or less priority than another underrepresented group. Listen, either agenda gets pushed or none of them gets pushed. And we stay with, let's just be honest, white male perspectives. And that's just the status quo. So what do you want? You gotta pick a lane. It's got to be one or the other. But yeah, you're not wrong. Thank you for that. Wraith, what you got? By the same token, the new stuff that fans hate could one day be made non-canon or changed to make it more appealing to older fans. Absolutely. And that's why I'm saying, like, just let the stuff cook. Let it happen. If it works, it'll work. If it doesn't, it'll fade off and it'll go away. Like I said, this happens in comic books all the time. When Sam Wilson I think it was Sam Wilson became Captain America, when Jane became Lady Thor. There was a lot of outcry and a lot of pushback against the wokeness, and all that. And guess what? The sales kind of went down. People wasn't buying the comics. And guess what? Marvel pivoted. Marvel was like, all right, hey, maybe we got to do something different. So it's gonna come in waves. Sometimes it's gonna be cool, sometimes it won't. It's fine. Extraordinary. What you got? Paying my tithes, brother. E-Man is preaching a sermon tonight. Amen. Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate you. Appreciate you holding down the channel like that. Thank you. Oh, by the way, I saw something. I don't want to disrespect the peoples. Hold on. Who is this from? Come on through. We got some love here from Low-Key. Thank you. I'm sorry I'm late, Low-Key. I know usually I try and catch it early. Says for happy Friday, we watching the replay. Thank you so much, Low-Key. I appreciate y'all keeping the lights on around here. Thank you so much for that. JM, what you got? I do think we need more new IP and a better focus on writing better stories. Side note, wait till folks find out that science determined Adam as was a black man. I mean, surprise. But yeah, I'm down for it. I'm down, but that's why I don't knock originality. That's why I don't knock them trying new things. If they kept doing the same thing, we'd never get new stuff. So yeah, try the new stuff. If it works, fine. If it doesn't, we don't need to watch it, and then it will go away, and then they'll learn their lesson, and then they'll do something else. So it's fine. 60 plus. An interview with Tim Burton, why his movies are full of white people, Washington Post 2016. Interesting. I have to go look at that. But here's the thing. I don't care. Right? Like, I don't care. If you want to be, here's the thing. Woody Allen seems allergic to having, people of color as his leads. Tim Burton want to have all white people. I'm fine with that. That's fine. Let Tyler Perry cook. Let Ryan Coogler cast Michael B. Jordan 50 million times. Let Jordan Peele make black movies. If y'all want to have y'all stuff, that's fine. Let us have our stuff. I'm fine with that. I don't care. Everybody doesn't have to be super multicultural with their view. I want people to do movies and TVs based off of their perspective. Guess what? Y'all want to have friends? Cool. Give me Living Single. Y'all want to have SNL? Cool. Give me In Living Color. It's fine. It is okay. Y'all want to have Frasier? Give me Martin. Both coexisted. I sure enough didn't watch Frasier, but I watched Martin. It's fine. I don't have a problem with that. So that is cool by me. Thank you for that, 60. I appreciate you. All right, guys, let's get to the last topic. I almost forgot we had another topic. Let's get to the last topic of the night. And that is Joker Folie à Deux. And let's do a quick review for this. So, Joker Folie à Deux is a sequel, follow-up for the Joker film that came out previously, starring Joaquin Phoenix, directed by Todd Phillips. Before we go into the review, let me just kind of give a couple qualifiers here. So first and foremost, I really enjoyed the first Joker movie. I didn't enjoy it the first time I saw it. The first time I saw it, I was like, what is this? I don't know about this. Second time I saw it, I was like, yo, this was actually mad creative. It was really enjoyable. One of my top viewed videos on my channel, if you're new here and you haven't seen it, go check out that video. It was called Did You Get the Big Joke? The big joke in Joker. That was one of the most fulfilling videos I've ever made. It got some of the best views, but it was definitely something that, I just really loved it. I really loved it. So yes, I love the first movie, just so you know that going in. Now, we do have some news about what's going on with Joker right now. So this is the opening weekend right now as the timing of this video. Joker 2 is opening with only 7 million in domestic previews, almost 50% less than the first film's previews. Now, It might only earn 50 million in domestic opening weekend, and the budget was 200 million. Yikes. Let's just say this is not a strong start. It's not a strong start. And let me also say this. One thing that I've always tried to tell you guys is, as a critic, I tell y'all about red flags, right? I tell you about certain things to pay attention to, which might be an indicator of the quality of a movie. I did not get one red flag. I did not get a screening, an official screening from the studios until like the Wednesday before the movie comes out. One red flag is a late screening. When a movie is fire and a studio knows it's great, they will at least show it to you maybe that Monday, Tuesday, or maybe they'll show it to you much earlier than that. That did not happen here. And this movie debuted at a film festival. Why? Because the film festival is usually more receptive to more art house type of movies. Think about it. The people that go to these film festivals are press, critics, journalists, people that really love cinema, So, they released this movie earlier in the film festivals. And before me, regular press, before we could go see it at our official screening, which was on a Wednesday, right before the movie comes out on a Thursday, which gives us no time to think about it, process it, and write out our reviews conveniently. Before that, on Monday, the studio said, hey, we're doing a fan first event. If that ain't a red flag, you gonna show the movie to fans before the press? Now, some of y'all might be like, I don't like critics, so yeah, what's the problem? The problem is that is usually a way for the studios to drum up excitement, to drum up talk, because they know that the movie isn't good enough to be viewed by the press, who, by the way, the press have a bigger reach than the average audience. You might have 5,000 friends on social media, 5,000 followers, whatever. That's not enough compared to one outlet that talks to 20 million people. So if you're trying to go for the average person with a smaller reach before you go to the bigger outlet, you're scared. You're scared. Okay, so that's why fan events before press events matter. All right. So I went to the fan event. I went to the fan because I was like, y'all hiding something. Nah, let me go to this fan event because, I paid my money. I went. Y'all put it out there for the world to see it. It's already been out there, so why not? So let's kind of go through Joker Folie à Deux first. And let's kind of go through this this whole ordeal. So let's start off with a quick intro. So Arthur Fleck is institutionalized at Arkham Asylum. He is awaiting trial for his crimes as Joker. While struggling with his dual identity, Arthur not only stumbles upon true love, but also finds the music that's always been inside of him. All right. So first, y'all know I'm nice. Let's start off with the good. All right. So I think the best part of Joker so far is going to be the performances. Joaquin Phoenix and Lady Gaga have fantastic on-screen chemistry. I thought that they portrayed their very troubled characters in a way that was authentic. It was very convincing. Even though it was a little disturbing, it was a little awkward, right? Because they are crazy. And Phoenix, I thought Joaquin gave a very physical performance in his role. Like he's obviously fully committed in what he was doing. So yes, he still delivers as Arthur in a very, very good way. He was just very solid. Lady Gaga, she plays Harley or Lee or whatever you want to call her. And I thought that she brought, a good element of crazy to this. She was unpredictable. She matched his energy, and that worked. That did work. I think probably one of the more intriguing things when it comes to this movie was probably the trial. The legal drama, I think, takes center stage, and it added a different dimension to Arthur's story. You actually get to see different layers of him during this legal case or whatnot. And I thought that it left me kind of curious, and I was intrigued because I was like, yo, is he actually going to be guilty? Is he going to be found innocent? Because y'all seen Law and Order, dum. Like, it was kind of like that for a minute. And I was like, okay, like, I can get with this. So the legal stuff was cool, and I thought that they did also add just a little bit of comic book stuff. And I thought that the comic book stuff that they added was interesting. I'll say that. I was okay with it. The comic book elements, you get certain characters that were added in. And I think that specifically you'll see these characters, especially at the end of the film. And I thought that the film gave a pretty interesting twist. And it was a twist that probably forces you to reevaluate everything that you've previously seen, not only in this movie, but also the movie before. Now, that's also very risky, but hey, they tried. All right. Now for the bad. There are so many things. I think one of the worst issues in this movie had to be how they treated Arthur. One of the problems here was that the ambiguity, the mystery, the all the things that are mysterious about Arthur were gone. Everything that made him fascinating was stripped away because you kept learning more and more about Arthur's trauma. You learned about all the negative things that he went through, and all of that just made it less interesting. Like when you get all the answers, you're no longer attracted to the mystery. And I felt like that's kind of what happened. They were like, oh, well, when Arthur was 9, this happened. Oh, when Arthur was a kid, this happened. And I'm like, yo, when it comes to the Joker in general, the Joker character, one of the best things about the Joker is that can't nobody figure him out. Nobody really knows what his origin story is. He doesn't know what his origin story is. Matter of fact, he's an unreliable narrator. That's what made the first movie that's what made it work, because everything you saw might not have actually been what happened. So when you strip that away in this movie, I'm like, why am I supposed to care about this character now? Because you literally just told me why he does what he does. So that to me was very problematic. I think another issue was that you had some issues, I think, with specifically with Lady Gaga's character, that just didn't add up very well. Like, for example, she would be able to just find her way into certain situations or certain locations without any real explanation. And I'll be sitting here like, wait, how are you able to get in here? What's going on? Now, here's the thing. Maybe some of those interactions were part of Arthur's imagination. Maybe. But because they were not executed and shot in a certain way and not a creative way, I did not care. I didn't care. Like, there were certain times I was like, man, I don't even care if she made up or not. Like, why are you here? What are we doing? Whatever. But the biggest problem is probably what most people suspected. And that was the musicals. The musicals in Joker Folie was absolutely the biggest miss of this film. Now it was clear that the musicals were supposed to represent, basically Arthur's inability to communicate. So if he can't express himself a certain way, he would sing something. And I get it. On paper, I understood what they were going for. But they added so many of these things, and they were so extra that the musical started to feel like filler. The musical scene started to distract from the stories and the character rather than adding some emotional depth to the story, right? Like if you watch musicals, usually when someone goes into a musical number or whatever, or a song, it's supposed to accentuate whatever's happening. If you're happy, man, I'm going to sing some, Pharrell happy song or something. And you're really going to see how happy I am. If you're mad, I'm going to sing, DMX, y'all going to make me lose my mind, up in here, up in here. Like that's the purpose of the musicals. In this movie, I was just like, why are y'all doing this? Please hurry up. Like if there was a skip button, I would hit it so fast because it didn't do anything for the story. It didn't add nothing. It didn't do nothing at all. So they seemed out of place. They added no meaning to the plot or the characters, and it just felt very awkward. All of it. So now let's get to the reason overall. Joker Folie, I think, is a derivative, less sophisticated rehash of the original movie with the added burden and very unnecessary musical numbers. And it had like a little pinch of comic book references, but it still ended up coming out flavorless. This movie felt like an inauthentic cash grab, one that it had potential to be more, but it couldn't quite decide what it wanted to be. The end result to me was kind of like, it was almost as unstable as Arthur is himself. Now, my issue here is the fact that it was clear that director Todd Phillips initially had no plans for a sequel. We've talked about it. We've reported on it. When the Joker first came out, he was like, nah, I'm good. I don't have no plans for a sequel at all. Until that Billy hit. When that $1 billion and the Oscar award nominations came out, Joaquin won, by the way, then the studios was like, hey, run it back. And he was like, man, I don't know, man. I ain't got no idea. Here's a $20 million check. Oh, I'll have a sequel for you 1 second. This is one of the reasons why I've always had issues with any creative forcing sequels when they don't really have it naturally up their back pocket. If you didn't plan on a franchise, if you didn't plan on a sequel, just don't do it. But he was forced into, he was compelled to do this. By the way, this is the same guy that gave that fantastic comedy, The Hangover. Something tells me that The Hangover had no business having sequels, but because of the success of the first one, he was like, all right, I guess I'll make some more. And they were terrible. They were terrible. So, yes, the first movie, in my opinion, was good and I liked it. The sequel drifts very far off that path. And I think the problem was that it was attempting to appeal to a niche audience, but I don't think that it'll actually overlap. So it was hard enough. You're taking a superhero character, a superhero genre character. You're trying to appeal to superhero and general audiences and art house audiences in the first movie. And that was risky already. That was already risky because no Batman, no superheroes, no nothing. And I think that worked for the most part. Did hit $1 billion. But now you take the sequel and you put it in an even further niche. by doing musicals and making it even more art house. So it's like the people that barely came with you originally, you just isolated them even more. And I'm like, did you want this movie to succeed? Because especially given the ending, I get the feeling that he didn't. I really don't think he did. And I don't think that the last minute comic book element, that little twist that they added, I don't think it saves the movie. So when it comes to the rating for Joker Folie à Deux, I think that I gotta give it a 5 out of 10. As someone who really liked the first movie, this was a major letdown. Cutting out the musical stuff might, and maybe expanding the ending, maybe that might have saved this movie. I don't know. It might have made it a little bit more compelling. But as it stands, this movie falls short. I think it fails to entertain. And I saw this in IMAX, and I saw it with fans. I think it was pretty telling when I walked out, and I didn't, I'm walking out. These are the people. This is a general audience. The only thing you heard, and I'm gonna clean it up because I don't want to cuss, but the only thing you heard, I'm walking out of my theater, and all you hear was, "Man, that sucked." And after that was said, everybody was like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, that wasn't good. Yeah, I was just sitting here looking around like, wow." So yeah, I just had a friend of mine hit me up and was like, "Yo, should I go see Joker 2?" And I'm like, "For what?" And they were like, "Yeah, but I like the first one." I was like, "I did too." I don't know. Like this ain't it. But anyway, do you plan on watching Joker Folie à Deux? If and when you do, come on back to this video. Let me know what you thought about it in the comments down below. All right. That's it, guys. I did make it under 3. Winner, chicken dinner. All right, that's all I got for today, guys. I want to thank you all so very much. Oh, wait, I lied. Dang it, I lied. There was one more piece. Did somebody look at this? I'm sorry. Look at this. Warner Brothers declined to test screen Joker 2 to audiences at all before the film was complete. Oh my God. Do you know how bad that is? Warner said, you know what? We're not even going to test this. We're not even going to try to make this better. We're not even going to see if people like this, to see if it's worth doing or fixing or anything. Wow. And furthermore, director Todd Phillips was asked about, you going to do another one? Is a Joker 3 coming? Because, if you look at the ending, maybe they could, maybe. So he was asked about this, and he said here, it says, Phillips made it pretty clear that a Joker 3 is not coming, at least not from him. He said, it's not really where this movie is headed for me. I feel like my time in DC Universe was these 2 films. Bye. Thank you for your time. Goodbye. Hit the road, Jack. Don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Listen, Todd Phillips has got a couple of good movies. I like War Dogs. I liked Hangover. I like The Joker. He's got some stuff. My man can't do sequels. At least not sequels that he planned out. Because this movie felt like he just gave up. This movie was like, man, they paying me for... Listen, let me tell y'all something. If I didn't have an idea for a movie and y'all cut that check already and I'm paid, I'm giving y'all whatever the heck I come up with in my sleep. I don't even blame him. I do not even blame him. Because this man was just like, man, you know what we're going to do? Man, put some musicals up in this. I don't care. I'm paid. And walked out that door. Hey, man, do your thing. I'm not even mad at it. All right. That was it. Sorry, I forgot about those last pieces. Did I make it over 3? No, still under 3. Still under 3. All right. All right, guys. Hey, great show. I like this. This was fun. Got some stuff off my chest. I don't know if I want to read the comments. Do I want to read these comments? Because I got a feeling they're a little spicy. I don't know. Anyway, guys, I want you guys to make sure you have a fantastic weekend. I don't know yet if we will have a live next week. I think we will. I think she's asleep. But it is, hold on, let me double check my dates now. Yeah, so next weekend is the missus's birthday weekend. So I don't know. I left it up to her. I told her, we could do whatever she wants. So, if she want to do something, then y'all might not see me. I don't know. So just putting that out there, FYI. But please stay tuned. For those of y'all on the From bandwagon, I got some juicy things for y'all, some fun things. I cannot wait till y'all see them. We got our breakdown coming up. Y'all gonna want to see this next episode. Y'all gonna want to see this. Yeah. So anyway, guys, thank you so much. Have a fantastic weekend. You know the routine. Wash your hands, wash your butts, and everything in between. I will see you guys later. Peace.